It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're doing well and have good plans for your weekend, or at least for a restful weekend, whichever you choose. I hope it's fantastic. Let's do some news.
All right. A string of suspicious envelopes were delivered to or received by Secretary of State's offices in at least 15 states, including here in Missouri. Homeland Security is investigating. As for Missouri, they did receive a suspicious envelope, but it was identified in the mailroom. So they got it immediately removed, taken to a lab for testing. So far, nothing suspicious specifically has turned up in it, but we should be learning a lot more about this developing story later today. All right. Now to this, there have been several bomb threats at schools really across the country, including in Nixa. The latest was yesterday afternoon around 1 o'clock. Students had to evacuate the building at SB Elementary on South Gregg Road. Leaders say it was the fourth bomb threat of its kind yesterday across the state, all coming from the same IP address. However, there was a different threat at Nixa on Wednesday that was not from the same IP address. So that one was at Nixa's High Point Elementary. So the one that had the 4 IP addresses from the same one, or the 4 threats, they did track that down to a computer in Kansas City. They went to the man's house, questioned him. Turns out his IP address had been spoofed. So they talked to him, and he was not actually the guilty party because his IP address had been, stolen from him.
Oh man! So now,
yes,
you can't even trust IP addresses, and some innocent person sitting somewhere minding their own business could have the entire police force show up, and want to talk to you. So. And you have to prove that you're innocent.
Yeah, which he was able to do, thankfully.
Man, that's brutal.
It's brutal.
Well, I didn't realize you could spoof an IP address. I guess I should have known that, but
yeah, apparently so.
Okay, well then, how do we catch these people? It seems like it's going to be
I don't know, but I do feel like whenever it's widespread, I mean, we're talking multiple school districts across the state. I feel like they are on it because it's not an isolated incident and it's scary and it disrupts class. So they're going to, I don't know. I do feel they are one step ahead. Our intel is still one step ahead,
No, I don't know.
I really believe that to be true. Yeah. I don't know.
Let's hope so. Cause it's, what an awful thing to do to parents, to kids, it's teachers, it's everything. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Springfield, Cape Girardeau is being sued now in federal court. Federal lawsuit filed by 11 people accusing the diocese of enabling and concealing major crimes of sexual abuse to minors as young as 5 years old by employees over the course of decades. The plaintiffs are seeking $75 million in damages for abuse reported to have happened in the 80s and 90s. The lawsuit names 7 different priests and clergy. The lawsuit alleges abuse at churches in Springfield, Catholic churches in Springfield, Kimberling City, Neosho, Joplin, Carthage, and others.
All right.
Upgraded charges against a 23-year-old man accused of leading police on a chase that ultimately led to a police officer's death in Osage Beach. Christopher Waymeyer went from charges of aggravated fleeing a stop resulting in death to second-degree murder charges. 33-year-old police officer Felicia Carson was in pursuit before skidding off the road and hitting a tree with her patrol car, which burst into flames, and she was killed in that incident.
Yeah. Some Springfield third graders are going to have a really cool chance to learn about some history from the History Museum on the Square's Meet Missouri program. The museum got a big grant that will allow about 400 students to take part in some curated field trip experiences. One of the goals is to connect students to historical stories and people from right here in our community.
Okay, good for them. It's always
Yeah.
neat to learn about history, especially when you can make it local and interesting.
Right.
Branson residents, heads up. It's time for fall cleanup, so you could dispose of large, unwanted items that trash haulers normally won't pick up the curb. Public Works will pick up big items like grills, mattresses, and furniture starting on September 23rd, which is Monday. So right around the corner. You need to get them ready this weekend. Go to the city's website, file a report and issue form to get the city to come out and pick up those big items. Lots of details because Public Works is breaking it down by wards, so there are different time periods involved. Check out Branson's website for your date to find out when they're coming to your neighborhood. There's also a drop-off that you can take places, so there's a lot to know, more than we can tell you here. So check it out, Branson's website.
Yep. All right. So how close are we to the big November election? Close enough that absentee voting starts on Tuesday. That's hard to believe. For the general election, September 24th, absentee opens. That's, of course, for people who cannot get to the poll on November 5th. Absentee ballots can be cast in person at the Greene County Election Center on North Boonville between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. There you go.
And later, as we get
Coming up.
closer to Election Day, there will be, I think, a 2-week period when it's no excuse needed absentee voting. You could just show up at the clerk's office, and you can actually vote. You can cast your ballot, and it's called no excuse, which is basically early voting.
Yeah.
Same type deal.
All right. And now to some weekend events, because the weekend is upon us. Don't forget Saturdays. We told you about that. That's happening here in Springfield on historic Walnut Street. That one is Saturday and Sunday. Also, it's the Springfield Reptile Expo. That's happening at the Expo Center, is actually at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. I said Expo Center because it has the word Expo in it, but it's the Reptile Expo at the fairgrounds. That is this weekend.
I said pass.
Pass. Also, it's Oktoberfest in the Ozarks. That's on Saturday. So that's a lot of fun. Brats, pretzels, food trucks. So check that out. But if you go to aroundtheozarks.com and you look at our events page, there are all kinds of events happening. We know that it's like the pumpkin days at Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
Also, at the other place in Branson. It's slipping my mind right now, but there's just so much going on. Marionville's Apple Fest is this weekend. So if you want to find some events going on, check out the events calendar at aroundtheozarks.com.
Yep.
Also, we had a contest there,
did.
and there are lots of people who entered, but only one winner. Are you ready for this, Ethan? Do you need me like a drum roll or something? That's not a very good drum roll, but we're going to go with it. Okay. Bonnie Cannon from Springfield is the winner.
Way to go, Bonnie.
Congratulations to Bonnie Cannon from Springfield. Great. She will win. She will get a Willie Roaf jersey. He's a Hall of Famer, Chiefs player.
Nasty Willie.
Nasty Willie. Yeah, that's his nickname. If you didn't know, Bonnie, now you do. And you also get some Branson official vacation destination of the Kansas City Chiefs custom gear. So congratulations to her. And join us again next week for a new contest. And don't forget that if it's not gear, like signed jerseys from Hall of Famers, it's tickets to games at Arrowhead. So some really fun, cool prizes, worth winning, worth playing. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. Just click on contest and you will see the Branson Bowl.
It's on your smartphone as well. You can get the app, which makes it nice. And you can also, while you're there, get all the podcasts that we do. We do a lot of podcasts, not just ours. Abby Dyer's on there. Joy Robertson, Emily Wood, lots of people on there doing podcasts now, so you can check them all out.
Yeah, very fun. All right, I think that's it. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you have a really great weekend.
Absolutely. We'll see you back here bright and early on Monday. Bye.
Sounds good.